Corey Thompson, as I reported, is the new head coach. Guys, I know we talked the last time. We threw out a lot of names. Someone did say this weekend that I put his name out there, and I kind of barely halfway remember that I did put it out there. I didn't do a video for him, and maybe that was in his favor. Maybe you don't want me to do a video saying you should get a job. But what are you guys' initial thoughts? And then we'll play a little bit of some of the things, because I think the stream got cut out yesterday at some certain points. So I know people missed some stuff. We'll start off with
I definitely want to say, folks that's watching, man, please comment in the chat. Like, I would love to see the comments while we're having this conversation.
Definitely.
But I was unfamiliar with Corey Williams, completely unfamiliar, and my vote was for Paul Davis. I was very adamant or very vocal with that. I was rooting for Paul, and I heard Paul didn't even get a campus interview, which was a bit disheartening for me. I know there was folks that was wanting Waukegan and things of that nature. And when I heard the name Corey Thompson, I remembered the name for some strange reason, but I couldn't place it. And then when I saw his press conference and the things that he was saying, and I'm a fan because I graduated high school in 1997. And if I would have went directly to college, I would have started in 1998 with Corey Williams and that squad. And I know a bunch of people that played football, Jonathan Graham, Michael Woody, a bunch of those guys that I went to school with that played football for WSSU at that time. And in that time, that was a strong period for WSSU, man. Like, we were winning championships in football and basketball. You dig what I'm saying? Like, it was a great time to be a Ram at that time. So for him to be a part of that, I had three components that I wanted in a head coach for Winston-Salem State. One, I wanted it to be an alum. I wanted to be somebody that understood the culture, somebody that understood what it felt like in the game, somebody that understood the history of the coaching staff and WSSU athletics, basketball as it pertains to going to the MEAC, coming back to the CIAA, just understood all of that. Two, I wanted it to be somebody that was a proven winner. Somebody that knew what it was to win, somebody that could say, look, I have one of these, or I have two of these, and this is how you get there, and this is what we did to get there. And three, somebody that has some experience coaching in this era of basketball, with the NIL deals and with the portals and things of that nature. I know he's knocking two of them completely out of the park, the first two. The third one still has yet to be seen. But I like his passion. We'll get into his press conference in a minute. But overall, my initial reaction emotionally from this hire, I love it.
Okay. All right. So, as I navigate back through there, so we heard from Dot. Next, we will go to Trails. We'll go with Trails.
So before I start, what's his resume, Gaither? Can you read it out to me?
Yeah. So I am gonna go. I'm gonna have to pull that up for you. But basically, off the top of my head, so obviously he played basketball at Winston-Salem State, two-time champion, as B-Dot said. And he also was assistant coach, I think, for a year or so there, as well as St. Andrews. I think he was a grad there. So he spent, I think, about 5 or 6 years with UNC Pembroke. And then he went over to Fayetteville State and was there for a couple years as well with Alphonse Key, who was the head coach there. And then when their time was up at Fayetteville State, he went over to St. Paul's, which is, I believe, in his home area, and became the head coach. He's been there for 8 years. Had some good winning seasons, some 20+ winning seasons. Last season was a step back for them. I think they were 13 and 15. But so yeah, he's been on the high school circuit for the better part of the last decade. He was in the previous head coaching search back in 2018 that ended up yielding us Cleo Hill Jr. So yeah, that's kind of where we are.
Yeah. Okay. So I think for me, I was very vocal with who I wanted. I went to social media with it, just because I feel like my voice for the younger generation of alums needed to be heard in who they wanted. I was perfectly fine also with Coach Ricky. Shout out to Coach Ricky, man, for holding us down for that month of, just some turnover. I want to make sure and give him his flowers as well, because he could have just dipped too. He could have been like, hey, bro, I'm out too. So I want to definitely give him his flowers for that reason alone as well. the school, in my opinion, really didn't do a great job at advertising that he was the interim. So whenever I made my comments, I felt like everybody was gone, right? Until, I found out that, he was in the search as well and everything and all of that. So I say all that to say, the last time I was up here, I said that I wanted an alum to be the coach. So that checked the box. And I also said I wanted a needle mover to move. Now, I'm unsure how that will work, but that will remain to be seen. But I think for me, it's bigger than the search. And I'm happy that an alum got the role and everything else. I'm more so just worried about just the state of athletics in general. It's just hard to get excited. Just from the track record of what we've had, it's just hard to get excited. So shout out to him for sure. I'm sure I'll meet him. I'm sure he's a great guy. From what I've heard, he is a great human being to be around and everything. And he definitely understands what it takes to be a Ram. Like I think he's in the Hall of Fame too. Am I correct? I think he's in the Hall of Fame too, right?
He is. His team is for sure.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so like all of those different parts definitely make sense. Of course, we had our different picks that we wanted, but also as well, like I trust the school's decision. We just have to just wait and see what's going on, right? Like in 2018 when Cleo came, I wasn't too skeptical, but also as well, I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens. So obviously that yielded great results for us. So hopefully, we keep going that route, but let's just see what happens. So those are my comments. But shout out to him for sure. Yesterday had to have been a great day. I can only imagine coming back to my alma mater and getting a big time role and being able to change a culture. I know that's probably a dream job for D and for Dot and for you. Like being able to come back to a school that you love the most. I've always said Winston was a place that people would probably take a pay cut to come back to if they can fix it, right? But also as well, just being able to do those different things helped out the most. So I'll pass it to DP after me.
Right. It's on you, DP.
Okay. Initial reaction, not gonna lie, I was very disappointed in the decision that was made. I felt like there were candidates that were as of equal. I think he did check off the boxes that we talked about last time, but I also feel like there are some concerns as far as, and for me, what we are coming from and where we are going. We've already, recruitment is going to be a big thing. That's going to be like one of the things that I'm probably going to want checked off immediately. Another thing that has to be checked off, I want to say is, I'm cool with the alum stuff. That means he understands culture and he won when he played here. I guess for me, he hasn't coached. I think somebody said he hasn't coached college in a long time, but he has been in the high school circuit, and that's cool. But it's just like where we coming from, the recruits that we was just about to get before Coach Hill departure, and where we are known to be, and the level of what we should be at this moment. It's just all concerning. It doesn't seem like the right decision was made. I'm not gonna lie. But to say that is to say this. You gotta still be positive to it. We've won, with the doubts of Coach Hill at first, but also the backup Coach Hill. Coach Hill has won before. And he's been recently in the CIAA circuit. So I guess to say that yes, I am disappointed, but I also, at the end of the day, it's still Winston. I'm gonna be cheering us, and of course, PAing for us whether we winning or losing. I have my preference. I'm expecting win. So that's pretty much all I gotta say about it. I do feel like we dropped the ball on this decision, and that's just where I'm aligned. I'm gonna stand on.
Okay, I got you. What'd you say?
I just said that's a strong take, man. That dude ain't even put on his damn WSSU shirt yet. You there gonna say it's the wrong hire? Like, I understand we had our picks, and I understand the strengths that we feel like our friends and people that we were supporting had. But like, I agree with Trails in the idea that we gotta trust the school in those decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. It's a lot of things that we don't take into account: the contracts, the monies, a lot of things that I'm sure we're not privy to when it's just as black and white for us as, oh man, we should pick Waukegan because he got connects here and he's here, or we should pick Paul because he's here. Like, the fact that this man already went through the process in 2018 and came up short lets you know that he was already on their radar for whatever reason. I do agree. I agree 100%. Only high school since 2016, that is a red flag for me. That does, draw some concern. However, it does also let me know that he does know how that high school portal works.
Who can play and who can't play.
You dig what I'm saying? Like, he's been on that side of high schoolers that are seniors that are good as hell but can't get to college because they is somebody in the portal that's older, and we all know how that game goes. We don't have to break that part down, but I do think that he has a vantage point that can be beneficial for us. I think that him being a two-time winner and coming from that cloth of that 98, 99, just in that era of Ram, I think that's going to be strong for us. And, again, I know that, there may be disappointments, but to say that the school dropped the ball on the hire is just a tough take because we really don't know yet. That's all
I think.
Okay, well, guys, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, but I'm gonna give a little bit because we don't know. We do know who the decision maker was on this, and that is AD Etienne Thomas. So I want us to hear a little bit from her, and then we'll get back right into this. But I want it because I just want to. That's a little bit of it from yesterday. So you heard AD Thomas say that it sounds like he kind of flew under her radar because she said where did this guy come from, or where this person come from. Again, as we know. Obviously an alumnus, and obviously he was in the previous search as well. When you guys hear AD Thomas talk about, what she was looking for, she talked about graduating and championships. She talked about, all of the things that you're supposed to talk about. I'm sure this was a decision I'm sure she heard a lot about. Like you said, we all have our favorites. I think, Doc, you touched on something that one thing that you touched on that I want to talk about. You used the word trust, and on Monday night, Tuesday morning, as all this was getting ready, I made a video. If you guys didn't go check it out on the WSSU Ram page, check it out. But basically, I kind of, in with reporting the facts about Coach Thompson coming in, I talked about how I vocalized what a lot of people feel that really since Cleo Hill has been hired in these big moments, in these big decisions, a lot of times alumni feel left out in the dark. A lot of people feel left in the dark, or they feel if they're not necessarily unhappy with the outcome, there's usually the push for more transparency. And I think, as we continue to go forward on this, obviously, they're going to tell you, you got to dot certain I's and cross certain T's. You're at a UNC system school and things like that. But, when we think about the state of the football program, where we went from going to championship game pretty much every year, that never expected to lose. I mean, we went every year from 2011 through 2016. And, and as long as the CIAA's had divisions, we've never gone this long without winning, without getting to the CIAA championship game. And even though we're talking about football, but about basketball, but I think that weighs heavily too. So I think for sure, Coach Thompson is going. This decision is a big one. For sure. Pass it to anybody else who kind of has thoughts on that, and then we'll talk about hear a little bit about him being an alumnus and what his connection is to WSSU, and talk about that era, because one of the things he's going to have to do is he's an alumnus. And when we talk about alumni, oftentimes we talk about young alumni and regular alumni, but at the end of the day, we're all alumni, and everybody's going to have their affinities. Everybody's gonna, you know, I'm closer probably more to the people that I was in my era with, you know, in terms of people that I would think of, and everybody's kind of being that same way. So, you know, your thoughts on that as well, you guys.
What up, Trev?
So I'll kick it back here as well. I think that's what we were going into until we saw the video. You know, that's what my worry is where are we heading, right? You know, we just have a new chancellor just comes in, 4 days in, she got to pick a new head coach, right? No matter who the AD want, the last signature matters on the paperwork. So who is to say anything could have shook, anything could have happened? Who knows, right? Who knows what her preference was, right? Like, you know, like AD Thomas is the one that's at the podium, but we don't know what the vision is or where we're heading at all. I think also as well, I think athletics, like I said before, even when Cleo was here, we're at a crossroads. Where do we want to go? Do we want to be the Kentucky of CIAA, or are we graduating champions? Which one are you more focused on doing, right? To me, and this is my opinion, is that we do not have an identity. Who is Winston-Salem State University currently in athletics? We talk about protecting the legacy. Okay. Since Trump has been in office, we have not won a championship in football. That's 8 years. If we go down the list, and I'm a DJ, right? If I tell you what's the hottest song in 2016, I'll tell you it was March Madness. That was 8 years ago.
March Madness still go though. Like you can play that
right. Oh, listen now. It still go, right? But in 2016, Young Thug was the biggest artist in Atlanta.
And that was 2015.
Right. Okay. So Young Thug was the biggest artist in Atlanta. 2016 was the time that we thought Trump wasn't going to win the election. Let's be bipartisan here, right? But we're just saying how long it's been. Okay. So where are we headed? Right. You know, where are our programs headed? You know, we had a baseball program that was doing well. You know, of course, baseball costs too much money. We had to let that one go. You know, where are we going? This is what scares me the most. I mean, you know, up here last time we talked about, you know, our athletic programs are not having enough resources, right? We can't even get enough socks, enough sneakers, enough things. So it's like, I'm worried where we're heading, right? So I felt like this hire should have been a splash hire to me, because I feel like Winston is in a position where you can afford that. If it didn't work, whatever, you figured it out, but you took a shot at it. And I feel like right now, I just don't know where we're going, and it just scares me as an alum looking at where we're heading. It's almost like we're driving through the road with no headlights. I don't know where we're going, and I just have to trust that you just gonna get me there. But from what I've been seeing from alum standpoint, it's hard to trust where you're going if you just don't know at all. And then everywhere you turn, you don't know if it's a street sign or a stoplight. So those are just different things that, you know, like as a trust builds upon everything, where are we heading? Where are we moving forward? So that's just where I'm at with it. Also, as well, this has nothing to do with Corey Thompson. This has nothing to do with him and his last hire. Nothing. But this is a school as a whole. The school has lost a lot of talent. We can go down the list of departments that Dot has worked with, DP has worked with, of people that's going to different schools and transcending cultures like they did at Winston-Salem State. You can't keep bleeding too many times and not expect to die out if you don't replace that talent with talent. So those are things. It's not just an athletics thing. This is a school thing. Where are we going? So I'll pass it to Dot after that.
No, like I mirror a lot of that. Like I can't front. Like as alum, like I sit in that press box during football season. I've been the PA announcer for the past 8 seasons and understand, like I get it. So, you know, but from that space, like to say we don't know where we're going, like I think we know where we're going. I'm just not sure we know exactly how to get there. and that's from the top down. You know, like I'm optimistic that this new regime with the new Chancellor Brown will bode well for us. You dig what I'm saying? Like we got a lot of fresh energy. We got a lot of fresh energy that feels like they're coming home, and they too understand the legacy that Winston-Salem State is, and they want to protect that. When you talk about Coach Thompson, you know what I'm saying? That's all he's talking about. You know, like when we get to his press conference piece, when he's talking about the house already been built, he knows what he's coming into. You dig what I'm saying? So I am one of those, and I know that the length or the pause, I know that the tenure may be different in timing, but I sat in that press box when we was transitioning to the MEAC. You dig what I'm saying? Well, we was getting our faces beat in every single Saturday and knew it was coming. Like I'm talking about 1 in 10 seasons. Like I was in the press box then.
Right.
And I heard all the people talking about the sky's falling. This is a bad move. Oh, it should, you know. Listen, you make moves that you think for the betterment of the school. If it doesn't work, you make counter moves. That's all we can do. But as alum, it is our job to support our school because we know, one, where we've been, and two, where we would like to get to. And none of that happens without us. If we're sitting back in our houses like, man, I didn't like that hire, man, I ain't supporting. Oh, man, I didn't like it. What are we doing? I ain't supporting. We're definitely doomed in. We're the House of Targaryens. Like, it's only going to be one family left trying to damn bring the whole entire family back to life. If y'all don't watch Game of Thrones, you probably don't understand that reference. My point is, we as alum have to continue to be vigilant and or diligent. I mean, in our support, whether it's with our time, whether it's with our skill sets, whether it's with our monies. You dig what I'm saying? Like, we have to continue to do that so that we can help Coach Thompson, so we can help AD Thomas, so we can help Chancellor Brown. We have to help them from our spaces. And this is not the time for everybody to go, oh man, like I'm sitting on my hands on this one. It's borderline. We're talking about being bipartisan, but it's borderline like the election. Mm-hmm. Like the people that are saying they're not going to vote are killing us.
Right.
They're killing us.